Welcome to this transformative session on a topic that touches the lives of so many hardworking professionals. The problem with being too nice is at work. I'm Brian TRACY, and today we're going to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth that will revolutionize the way you approach your career and your life. Now, you might be wondering, Brian, how can being nice be a problem? Isn't kindness a virtue we should all strive for? And you're absolutely right to ask that question. Kindness, compassion, and consideration for others are indeed admirable qualities. They're the foundation of civil society and harmonious workplaces. But there's a crucial distinction we need to make: the difference between being kind and being too nice. See, in the competitive world of business and career advancement, there's a fine line between being a considerate colleague and becoming a doormat. And it's this delicate balance that we're going to explore today. We'll uncover the hidden costs of always putting others first, the dangers of constantly seeking approval, and the transformative power of assertiveness. So before we dive deeper, I want you to take a moment and reflect on your own experiences. Think about a time when you said yes to a project even though you were already overwhelmed. Recall an instance when you stayed late at the office to help a coworker, sacrificing your personal time and energy. Remember that promotion you didn't pursue because you didn't want to compete with your friend. These are all symptoms of being too nice at work. And while they might seem harmless on the surface, they can have profound implications for your career trajectory, your personal well-being, and ultimately your ability to make a meaningful impact in your organization and in the world. This isn't about becoming unkind or ruthless. Far from it. This is about empowering you to stand up for yourself, to communicate your needs effectively, and to pursue your goals with unwavering determination. It's about striking that perfect balance between being a team player and being your own advocate. Throughout this talk, we're going to explore the psychology behind being too nice, the societal and cultural factors that contribute to this behavior, and most importantly, the practical strategies you can implement immediately to break free from this self-imposed limitation. So we'll delve into the art of saying no without guilt, the power of setting clear boundaries, and the transformative impact of cultivating a strong sense of self-worth. You'll learn how to communicate assertively, how to negotiate for what you deserve, and how to lead with both kindness and strength. By the end of our time together, you'll have a comprehensive toolkit for navigating the complex interpersonal dynamics of the modern workplace. You'll be equipped to build genuine, mutually beneficial relationships while never losing sight of your own goals and aspirations. So are you ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment? Are you prepared to challenge your assumptions, to step out of your comfort zone and to unleash your full potential? If so, then let's begin by understanding the root causes of being too nice at work. At its core, the tendency to be overly accommodating often stems from a deep-seated need for approval and acceptance. From a young age, many of us are taught that being nice is the key to being liked and valued. We learn to prioritize harmony over honesty, to put others' needs before our own, and to avoid conflict at all costs. This conditioning can be especially pronounced in certain cultures and social groups. For instance, in many Eastern cultures, the concept of saving face and maintaining group harmony is paramount. In Western societies, particularly for women, there's often immense pressure to be nurturing, accommodating, and selfless. Well, here's the traits can certainly contribute to a positive work environment. When taken to an extreme, they can severely hinder your professional growth and personal fulfillment. So let's consider the case of Sarah, a talented marketing executive I worked with a few years ago. Sarah was beloved by her colleagues for her willingness to help with any task, no matter how small or mundane. She never said no to a request, even if it meant working late into the night or on weekends. Her boss praised her for being a team player, and her coworkers often remarked on how nice she was. But despite her hard work and dedication, Sarah found herself stuck in the same position year after year. She watched as her peers, some of whom she had trained herself, got promoted ahead of her. She felt increasingly frustrated and undervalued, but she couldn't bring herself to speak up or advocate for herself. Sarah's story is not unique. It's pattern I've seen repeated countless times in organizations across the globe. The too nice employee becomes the go-to person for tasks no one else wants to do. They become the unofficial therapist for their colleagues' personal problems. They're the last to leave the office and the first to volunteer for weekend work. And while this behavior might earn them the label of being nice, it often comes at a steep cost. Their own work suffers as they're constantly interrupted to help others. They miss out on challenging assignments because they're too busy with low-level tasks. They burn out trying to meet everyone else's needs while neglecting their own. But perhaps the most insidious effect of being too nice is the impact it has on your self-perception and the way others view you professionally. When you consistently prioritize others' needs over your own, you send a powerful message, both to yourself and to those around you, that your time, your skills, and your aspirations are less valuable than everyone else's. This can lead to a vicious cycle. The more you acquiesce to others' demands, the more people come to expect it. Your boundaries become increasingly blurred, and your colleagues may begin to take advantage of your good nature, often without even realizing it. Moreover, always being nice can actually undermine your effectiveness as a professional. In many roles, especially leadership positions, the ability to make tough decisions, deliver constructive criticism, and stand firm in negotiations is crucial. If you're known as the person who always says yes and never rocks the boat, you may be overlooked for opportunities that require a more assertive approach. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but Brian, isn't it important to be a good team player? Don't we need more kindness and cooperation in the workplace? And you're absolutely right. Teamwork, empathy, and cooperation are indeed vital components of a successful career and a thriving organization. The key lies in understanding the difference between being kind and being too nice. Kindness comes from a place of inner strength and genuine care for others. It's about treating people with respect, being considerate of feelings, and offering support when it's truly needed. Being too nice, on the other hand, often comes from a place of insecurity, fear of conflict, or an excessive need for approval. Let me illustrate this with another example. Jack and Emma were both project managers at a large tech company. Both were known for being pleasant to work with, but their approaches were markedly different. Emma was the quintessential nice manager. She never criticized her team members, even when they missed deadlines or delivered subpar work. She took on extra tasks herself rather than delegating, often working late into the night to meet project deadline. When conflicts arose between team members, she would smooth things over rather than addressing the underlying. Jack, on the other hand, was kind but firm. He set clear expectations for his team and held them accountable. He wasn't afraid to have difficult conversations when necessary, but he always did so with respect and empathy. He delegated tasks effectively, trusting his team members to rise to challenges. When conflicts arose, he facilitated open discussions to resolve issues constructively. Over time, a clear pattern emerged. Emma's projects often ran over budget and behind schedule. Her team members, while fond of her personally, didn't feel challenged or motivated to improve. Jack's projects, in contrast, consistently met or exceeded expectations. His team members reported high levels of job satisfaction and showed significant professional growth over time. True kindness in the workplace isn't about always being agreeable or avoiding difficult situations. It's about creating an environment where everyone, including yourself, can thrive and reach their full potential. So how do we break free from the trap of being too nice without losing our fundamental kindness and integrity? The journey begins with self-awareness and a willingness to challenge our ingrained beliefs and behaviors. The first step is to recognize the signs that you might be falling into the too nice trap. Ask yourself these questions. Do you often find yourself saying yes to requests even when you're already overloaded? Do you frequently sacrifice your own priorities to help others with theirs? Do you avoid expressing disagreement or offering constructive criticism for fear of being disliked? Do you often feel resentful or undervalued at work despite your hard efforts? Do you struggle to negotiate for better pay or opportunities because you don't want to seem demanding? If you answered yes to many of these questions, it's likely that you're grappling with the challenges of being too nice at work. But don't worry, recognizing the problem is the first step towards solving it. The next crucial step is to understand your own worth and the unique value you bring to your organization. This is about more than just your technical skills or job-specific knowledge. It's about recognizing your intrinsic worth as a human being and a professional. Too often, those who fall into the too nice trap have a distorted view of their own value. They believe that their worth is determined solely by how much they do for others or how well-liked they are. This belief can lead to a constant need to prove oneself through self-sacrifice and people-pleasing. But here's the truth. Your worth is not determined by how much you do for others or how many people like you. Your worth is inherent. You are valuable because of who you are, not just because of what you do. Your skills, your perspective, your creativity, your integrity. These are all invaluable assets that you bring to your workplace. Once you truly internalize this understanding of your own worth, it becomes much easier to set healthy boundaries and advocate for yourself. You'll find it easier to say no to unreasonable requests because you'll understand that your time and energy are precious resources that should be allocated wisely. This shift in mindset is transformative, is the foundation upon which you can build a more balanced, fulfilling, and ultimately more successful career. But it's important to note that this isn't a one-time change. It's an ongoing process of self-reflection and growth. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in overcoming the too nice syndrome. The art of saying no. For many people, this two-letter word can feel almost impossible to utter, especially in a professional context. So we fear being seen as uncooperative, selfish, or not a team player. But the ability to say no when necessary is crucial for maintaining your boundaries, managing your workload, and ensuring that you can give your best to your most important tasks. Remember, every time you say yes to something, you're implicitly saying no to something else. When you agree to stay late to help a colleague, you might be saying no to quality time with your family. When you take on an additional project that's not part of your core responsibilities, you might be saying no to excelling in your primary role. So, how do you say no effectively? Here are some strategies. Stay clear and direct. Don't leave room for ambiguity. A clear, "I'm sorry, but can't take that on right now," is much more effective than a vague, "I'm not sure if I can manage that." You don't need to justify your decision, but a short explanation can soften the impact. For example, "I'm focused on completing the quarterly report right now, so I can't take on any additional tasks this week." If you can't fulfill the request, perhaps you can suggest another solution. "I can't take on the full project, but I'd be happy to review the proposal and provide feedback." Remember, you're not asking for permission to say no. You're informing the other person of your decision respectfully. While it's fine to say "I'm sorry" once, excessive apologies can undermine your position and make you appear less confident. Practicing these techniques might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to always saying yes. But with time and repetition, it will become more natural. And you'll likely find that people respect you more for being clear about your boundaries and limitations. Now let's address another crucial aspect of overcoming the too nice syndrome: assertive communication. Many people confuse assertiveness with aggression, but they're quite different. Assertiveness is about expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and respectfully, while also being open to the perspectives of others. Assertive communication is a skill that can be learned and improved with practice. Here are some key elements. Instead of saying "you always dump your work on me," try "I feel overwhelmed when I'm asked to take on additional tasks without prior notice." Be specific. You're making general complaints. Address specific behaviors or situations. This makes it easier for others to understand your perspective and potentially change their behavior. Assertiveness isn't just about expressing yourself. It's also about being open to others' viewpoints. Show that you're listening and try to understand their perspective even if you disagree. Or sit up straight, make appropriate eye contact, and speak in a clear, steady voice. Your nonverbal cues should align with your words. Whenever possible, try to find solutions that address both your needs and the needs of others. By communicating assertively, you show that you respect yourself and others. You're more likely to be taken seriously and to have your needs met. Moreover, you set a positive example for others in your workplace, contributing to a culture of open, honest communication. Now let's talk about a critical skill that often eludes those who are too nice. Negotiation. Whether it's discussing a raise, advocating for resources for your team, or simply trying to reach an agreement with a colleague, the ability to negotiate effectively is crucial for career success. Many people who struggle with being too nice find negotiation particularly challenging. They may feel that asking for what they want is selfish or that any disagreement will damage their relationships. But effective negotiation isn't about winning at all costs or forcing others to give in to your demands. It's about finding mutually beneficial solutions and advocating for your needs while also considering the needs of others. Here's some strategies for effective negotiating. Prepare thoroughly. Know what you want, what you're willing to compromise on, and what your bottom line is. Research industry standards and gather data to support your position. Try to understand, not positions. Try to understand the underlying interests of all parties involved. Often there are solutions that can satisfy everyone's core needs. Create value. Look for ways to expand the pie rather than just dividing it. Are there creative solutions that could benefit all parties? Whenever possible, base your arguments on objective standards or data rather than personal preferences. Be willing to walk away. Know your based alternative to a negotiated agreement. If the proposed deal doesn't meet your minimum acceptable outcome, be prepared to walk away. Practice empathy. Try to understand the other person's perspective. This doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but understanding their position can help you find common ground. Remember, negotiation is not about being aggressive or demanding. It's about clearly communicating your needs and working collaboratively to find solutions. By developing your negotiation skills, you'll be better equipped to advocate for yourself and your team, leading to better outcomes and increased job satisfaction. Now let's address a common fear that holds many too nice people back. The fear of conflict. In many workplaces, conflict is seen as something to be avoided at all costs. But the truth is, when handled constructively, conflict can be a powerful force for positive change and growth. The key is to reframe how you think about conflict. Instead of seeing it as a personal attack or a sign of failure, try to view it as an opportunity to gain new perspectives, solve problems, and strengthen relationships. Here are some strategies for handling conflict constructively. Address issues early. Don't let problems fester. The longer you wait to address a conflict, the more difficult it becomes to resolve. Focus on the issue, not the person. Frame the discussion around specific behaviors or situations, not personal attributes. This simple linguistic shift can make a big difference. For example, I appreciate your creativity and I'm concerned about meeting our deadline. Sounds more collaborative than I appreciate your creativity, but I'm concerned about meeting our deadline. Seek to understand before being understood. Listen actively to the other person's perspective before presenting your own. Yeah, for common ground. Even in disagreement, there are usually areas of agreement. Identifying these can help build a foundation for resolution. Brainstorm solutions together. Involve the other person in finding a solution. This increases buy-in and often leads to more creative and effective outcomes. By developing your conflict resolution skills, you'll be better equipped to address issues directly and constructively rather than avoiding them or letting resentment build up over time. Now let's talk about a crucial aspect of professional growth that often eludes those who are too nice: receiving and giving feedback. Feedback is essential for improvement both for individuals and organizations. But for those who prioritize being liked above all else, both giving and receiving feedback can be challenging. When it comes to receiving feedback, many too nice individuals take criticism personally, seeing it as a sign that they're not liked or valued. But it's important to remember that constructive feedback is not about you as a person. It's about specific behaviors or outcomes that can be improved. Here's some tips for receiving feedback effectively. Listen actively. Focus on understanding the feedback, not on formulating your defense. If the feedback is vague, ask for concrete examples to help you understand better. Even if you disagree with some aspects of the feedback, try to find the parts that might be valid. Thank the person for their feedbacks. Showing appreciation encourages people to continue follow-ups after you've had time to reflect. Follow up with the person to discuss how you plan to act on their feedback. Giving feedback can be equally challenging for too nice individuals. They may worry about hurting someone's feelings or damaging a relationship. But remember, providing clear, constructive feedback is one of the kindest things you can do for a colleague. It helps them grow and improve. Here are some strategies for giving effective feedback. Be timely. Provide feedback as close to the event as possible while it's still fresh. Be specific. Focus on observable behaviors or outcomes, not personal attributes. Start with something positive. Provide the constructive feedback, then end with another positive. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, emphasize how things can be improved going forward. Follow-up. We offer support and resources to help the person implement the feedback. By mastering the art of giving and receiving feedback, you'll contribute to a culture of continuous improvement and open communication in your workplace. Now, let's address an often overlooked aspect of being too nice at work. The impact on your personal life and well-being. When you consistently prioritize others' needs over your own at work, it can lead to burnout, stress, and a sense of resentment that often spills over into your personal life. Many too nice individuals find themselves working long hours, taking work home, or being constantly available via email or phone. They might skip lunch breaks to help a colleague or cancel personal plans to meet a last-minute request from their boss. While this might seem admirable in the short term, it's not sustainable in the long run. It's crucial to remember that maintaining a healthy work-life balance is not selfish. It's necessary for your long-term productivity, creativity, and overall well-being. Here are some strategies to help you maintain better boundaries between your work and personal life. Set clear working hours. Communicate your availability to your colleagues and stick to it as much as possible. Take your breaks. Use your lunch break to recharge, not to catch up on more work. Vacation time. Plan regular time off and truly disconnect from work during these periods. Prior to self-care. Prioritize activities that help you relax and recharge, whether it's exercise, meditation, or a hobby. Learn to unplug. Establish times when you're not available by email or phone, especially during evenings and weekends. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself, you'll actually be better equipped to help others and perform at your best at work. So now let's talk about a critical skill for those who tend to be too nicey, setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Boundaries are the limits you set with other people, which indicate what you find acceptable and unacceptable in their behavior towards you. For many too nice individuals, the concept of boundaries can feel foreign or even selfish, but having clear, healthy boundaries is crucial for your well-being, your productivity, and ironically, for building stronger, more authentic relationships with your colleagues. Here are some steps to help you set and maintain healthy boundaries at work. Reflect on what you find acceptable and unacceptable. What makes you feel uncomfortable or stressed? Once you've identified your boundaries, communicate them clearly to others. Don't expect people to read your mind. Use I statements. Frame your boundaries in terms of your own needs and feelings, not as criticism of others. Be consistent. Enforce your boundaries consistently. If you let them slide sometimes, people will learn that your boundaries are negotiable. Prepare for pushback. Some people might react negatively when you start setting boundaries. Stay firm and remember that you have the right to set limits. Setting boundaries is new for you. Start with something small and build from there. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about building walls or pushing people away. It's about creating a healthy space for yourself that allows you to be your best, most productive self at work. Now let's address a crucial aspect of overcoming the too nice syndrome. Building authentic confidence. Many people who struggle with being too accommodating at work do so because they lack confidence in their own abilities, judgment, or worth. True confidence isn't about being loud or domineering. It's about having a strong sense of self-worth and trusting in your own abilities. When you're confident, you're more likely to speak up, to take calculated risks, and to pursue opportunities for growth and advancement. Here are some strategies to help you build authentic confidence. Keep a record of your accomplishments, no matter how small. Review this regularly to remind yourself of your capabilities. Set and achieve goals. Start with small, achievable goals and gradually increase their difficulty. Each success will boost your confidence. Continuous learning and skill development can significantly boost your confidence. Identify areas where you'd like to improve and take steps to enhance your abilities. Be aware of your inner dialogue. Challenge negative thoughts and replace them with more balanced, positive ones. Even if you don't feel confident acting as if you can help. Stand tall, make eye contact, and speak clearly. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Remember that everyone fails sometimes. What matters is how you respond and what you learn from the experience. Keep feedback and act on it. A constructive feedback can help you improve and feel more confident here. Remember, confidence is a skill that can be developed over time. As you practice these strategies, you'll likely find that your confidence grows, making it easier to assert yourself and advocate for your needs at work. Now, let's talk about leadership. You might be thinking, but Brian, I'm not in a leadership position. However, leadership isn't just about having a title or managing a team. It's about taking initiative, influencing others positively, and contributing to the success of your organization. And sometimes being too nice can hold you back from embracing these leadership qualities. True leadership involves making difficult decisions, having tough conversations, and sometimes putting the needs of the organization or team ahead of individual preferences. These actions can feel uncomfortable for those who prioritize being liked above all. Here's the truth. Effective leaders aren't always the most popular, but they are respected. They're known for their integrity, their willingness to make tough calls, and their ability to inspire and motivate others. Here are some ways you can develop your leadership skills, even if you're not in a formal leadership role. Wait initiative. Don't wait to be told what to do. Look for problems that need solving and propose solutions. Hear ideas and opinions, even if they might be controversial. Mentor others. Offer to help newer employees or share your expertise with colleagues. Demonstrate the work ethic and attitude you'd like to see in others. Be willing to make unpopular decisions. Sometimes the right decision isn't the most popular one. Be prepared to stand by your convictions. Work on emotional intelligence. Work on understanding and managing your own emotions, as well as recognizing and responding to the emotions of others. Take responsibility for your actions and decisions, and hold others accountable as well. By developing these leadership qualities, you'll not only contribute more effectively to your organization, but you'll also position yourself for future growth and advancement opportunities. Now, let's address a common concern that arises when we talk about overcoming the too nice syndrome. The fear of becoming unlikable or even mean. This fear often holds people back from asserting themselves or setting necessary boundaries. But here's the crucial point. Being assertive and having strong boundaries doesn't mean being unkind or inconsiderate. In fact, it often leads to more authentic, respectful relationships. When you're clear about your needs and limitations, you create an environment of honesty and mutual respect. Consider this, when you're always accommodating others at the expense of your own needs, you're not being truly authentic. You might be liked, but it's a superficial kind of liking based on your willingness to please rather than on who you really are. Moreover, this behavior often leads to resentment and burnout, which can negatively impact your relationships in the long run. On the other hand, when you're assertive and have clear boundaries, you're showing respect for yourself and others. You're communicating honestly and directly, which allows for more genuine connections. People may not always agree with you, but they'll likely respect your honesty and clarity. Here are some ways to be assertive while still maintaining your kindness and be respectful. So you have respect even when you're disagreeing with them. Show empathy, perspectives, even if you don't agree with them. Be helpful when you do have the capacity to help. Do so willingly and cheerfully. Be direct about your needs and limitations, but do so in a calm and professional manner. When you need to say no or set a boundary, provide a brief explanation, if appropriate. When conflicts arise, focus on finding mutually beneficial solutions rather than placing blame. Acknowledge and thank others for their contributions and understanding. Remember, the goal isn't to stop being nice. It's to be nice in a way that's sustainable and authentic while also taking care of your own needs and maintaining your integrity. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've undertaken. We've explored the pitfalls of being too nice at work, from the toll it takes on your career progression to the impact on your personal well-being. We've discussed strategies for setting boundaries, communicating assertively, and building authentic confidence. Perhaps the most important takeaway is this: being truly kind and being too nice are not the same thing. True kindness comes from a place of strength, authenticity, and self-respect. It's about treating others with consideration and respect while also honoring your own needs and values. As you move forward from this discussion, I encourage you to start small. Choose one area where you've been too nice and commit to making a change. Perhaps it's learning to say no to non-essential tasks, or speaking up in your next team meeting, or having that difficult conversation you've been putting off. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. You may feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. Growth often involves stepping out of your comfort zone, but with each small step, you'll build confidence and momentum. And here's something crucial to keep in mind. As you become more assertive and set clearer boundaries, some people may react negatively. They may have grown accustomed to your always accommodating behavior and may resist the change. Stay strong. Remember that you're not just doing this for yourself, but also to become a more effective, authentic contributor to your team and organization. Moreover, by modeling this balanced approach to kindness and assertiveness, you're setting a positive example for others. You're contributing to a workplace culture where people can be both kind and strong, where open communication is valued, and where everyone's needs are respected. As you continue on this journey, keep reflecting on your progress. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Learn from the times when you slip back into old patterns, and above all, be kind to yourself. Change is a process, and every step forward is a victory. We have unique talents, perspectives, and contributions to offer. By learning to advocate for yourself, to set healthy boundaries, and to communicate assertively, you're not diminishing your kindness. You're amplifying your impact. You're creating the space to truly shine and to make the difference you're capable of making. So go forth with confidence. Embrace your strength alongside your kindness. Be assertive in pursuit of your goals while remaining considerate of others. And always remember, you don't have to choose between being nice and being successful. With the right balance, you can be both. Thank you for your attention and commitment to your personal and professional growth. Wish you all the best as you embark on this transformative journey. Remember, the power to change your life and your career lies within you. Embrace it, nurture it, and watch as new opportunities unfold before you.